Greetings, Afterlifers, and welcome to a first impressions look into Meld Studio. We used this broadcasting software yesterday for the Callisto Protocol stream. We did a first impressions on top of it, and after sitting on it, I can now finally talk about it. So, what is Meld Studio? Meld Studio is a new broadcasting software on the block, aiming to be a more user content creator intuitive broadcasting software than OBS. I mean, OBS is king, right? But not gonna lie, there have been issues in the past with OBS. There's some things that even the longtime users of OBS would love to see. A more intuitive layout, a better way of incorporating plugins and so on and so forth. And OBS stopped crashing or think that it's crashed, but it didn't crash, and it tells us to either do the safe run and boot up normally bullshit. So for that said, what does Meld Studio have to offer? Well, as you can see right here, a lot of things. On the left, you have your layers and scenes, right? You have your layers here where you have your video device, display capture, game capture, media source, image browser, duplicator, text, markdown, so on and so forth. And then you have your scenes here, which is what you use in OBS to switch scenes and so on and so forth. My preference were to have I think layers needs to be on the bottom, and then like scenes needs to be on top. And of course on the right you have your outputs, right? Your connections to YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and any other custom links. I know that Meld Studio on their Twitter kind of teased at the idea of, oh, what if we have TikTok as well? ATM, if that's how you say their name, the multi streaming software is also looking into it as well. Everyone's looking into it, but we all know that TikTok wants users to use their TikTok studio rather than giving out their code out to broadcasting software companies. Why? I don't know. They're very protective of their code, apparently. Um so and then of course here on the bottom you have your audio mixture, right? You have here where you have your gain, magic mic, and stereo panner for your left and right audio ducking. I believe that's what so to preface this a bit, I am no audio or tech guru, so what you're hearing, what you're seeing is somebody who isn't an audio tech guru. So I do apologize. For clarification, by all means explain it to me, what I got right and what I got wrong, right? This it's the journey. It's the journey, chat. It's the journey, the friends we made along the way and all that bullshit. And of course you have your gain, and then of course you have your magic mic. Your gain, obviously, I don't need to tell you what that is. And then there's a magic mic, where I think it automatically, I think it controls the gain, I believe. When you first start Meld Studio, they give you a lot of the basic explanations, but they don't give you a better onboarding process. That was the onboarding, right? Which I thought was a little weird to see that, with OBS, it sets you up. It sets you up with a preset. Or is this preset used for streaming, for recording, or for both? And then they go analyze, the best input output for your screen and bit rate and so on and so forth, right? And then of course everything here, and then unlike in OBS where you have to go to access files and log in and so on and so forth, you can do it here, right? You can do it here with Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. You can also have custom RNTMP, but there's no TikTok. um, they're for everyone's really hoping one day TikTok would share the love and get off its high horse and allow users to broadcasting multi-streaming softwares to allow TikTok code. I know there is, I think Restream already does that, but it's it's still disappointing that you don't see TikTok, right? It's like one day will come, and you don't have to use their in-house studio software. And of course you have your virtual camera here for your VTuber model, or for any virtual camera like things that you may or may not use, and so on and so forth. Now, the cool thing about this, when you activate this, right? You have, your game capture, you have your screen set up here. You can fill it. You have your sources here. You have audio capture, capture cursor, audio tag. Everything is so intuitively built into Meld Studio. However, though, with that said, we did run into issues yesterday where they couldn't capture the game properly. I don't know if it's because they used the import settings, or if it's just because I had too many things running. Meld Studio kind of needs to clarify that. If there is no clarification, then that's something. It's probably something on my end. But what I had to do is I had to quit out of the Callisto protocol, and then as soon as it starts, I have to automatically click on it, like my life depended on it, just so it can run. And to go back on the audio mixer, this is how they do it here. I know many people will probably say, well, I like kind of like the OBS version preset, so that way I can understand, because it's something I'm more comfortable with, and that's fine, Meld Studio has said this on Twitter, and a lot of ambassadors for Meld Studio have said this for Meld Studio, and I'm gonna say it here: use whatever broadcasting software is most comfortable with you. If you're looking for a more intuitive, more user friendly, and I say this in quotation because I don't know where Meld Studio is gonna go beyond these updates we're seeing. Then I would say kind of pay attention to Meld Studio. But with that said, though, we also did run into issues yesterday where there was background noises. So there's no equalizer, no noise gain, or noise gate, no noise gate or noise suppression uh add-ons. Why? I have no idea. Maybe it's built into Meld Studio. Maybe, this goes back to this all goes back to the lack of a proper onboarding for people who do not understand audio and the tech stuff. Yeah, they have basic explainers, and it gets to the point, which I love. But for some who need more help and more bit of a hand holding, it would be nice to have a proper onboarding experience with Meld Studio, and a better explainer as to what these features are, right? Maybe the noise gate and noise suppression is built into Meld Studio and I just didn't see it. Or maybe they worded it differently to not say noise gate, noise suppression. Who knows? But if this does mean that we need to use an XLR, well, a lot of people go XLR to do that noise gate stuff. Then yeah, that's kind of a red flag there. People shouldn't have to buy other additional stuff to do basic audio features that OBS already has. That, with one click, there should be like noise gate, noise suppression right here. Maybe again, it's inbuilt. I don't know. But the point is, there needs to be, a noise gate, noise suppression feature for um, Meld Studio. You have your scenes here, your layers. There's a Stream Deck plugin for Meld Studio. There's also a cool little Stream Deck plugin feature that lets you hide the source, which is nice. But and the reason why I'm highlighting that too is because this goes back to the bug I had. There were a few times where the desktop kind of briefly flashed, and again, is it a bug? Is it a glitch in the software? Is it something on the user end? Point is that that is a good little feature to have on your if you're going through the same thing I'm going through. So this full auto capture, while it auto captures the screen that we're on, or in this case it's in this case um um whatever's here, or behind my VTuber model and Meld Studio, there needs to be this needs to be there needs to be an auto game capture. There needs to be an auto game capture feature. Don't call it auto capture. Don't let it capture the first thing you can grab, because that's the worst thing that that's the worst thing that you can do with your broadcasting software, is capture the very first thing. And imagine if you have, things that you don't want, if you have if you have videos and things that you're working on that you're trying to keep it under wraps, or if you have your desktop icons and folders and everything. And I know it's basic common core knowledge that you shouldn't have your desktop icons shown during the middle of the stream. You should hide them while stream is running. But some streamers don't know that, and well, at least the baby streamers don't know that, right? Um, and there's an inbuilt feature for Windows that lets you hide these icons. But the point being is that there needs to be a game capture, not an auto capture. Auto capture is nice for anything and everything, like like a video snippet that you need to grab, like a random clip you want to show off, or a YouTube link or whatever. That's fine. But for game capture, I think there needs to be an actual game capture, right? Because this isn't true game capture. This is display capture. There are two display captures. Why are there two display captures? I have no idea. I have no idea, really. Again, I can be misconstruing that, but point is, and of course, up here you have your FPS here for your streaming software, your disk space, which is interesting. Gotta love it. And of course, here you have your chat, and then of course your streamer info and your inspector here. You can also mess with like your presets and effects, which is really nice. It gives a bit of a, if you want to add some flair to the look of your stream. But I don't know why that is I don't know why that's here. I don't know why that's here. Maybe, maybe it's just for like, oh, if you want a Halloween vibe, you would go Red Moon, or if I don't know. It's really weird to me. Um and then of course you have your effects here, your chroma key and everything, which is great, which is all awesome. I love that. I love how the presets and effects, I love how this feature is not like here. I'm really glad that, or here where you have to right click it, and I'm really glad that that's actually, its own separate thing. One of the many things I do love about Meld Studio. I love what is seen here, but it's a good start. It's an absolute good start for Meld Studio. But again, if the software has a better onboarding process, and there are more filter options, or at least like an auto setup, or like a better import. Like if your import goes wrong, like just tell the user like, hey, so your OBS profile, you know, you're gonna have to do this all manually instead of importing it, because a lot of the things aren't transitioning from OBS to Meld Studio very well, and you're gonna have to do everything all over again. Which is fine, but just tell us that, don't give us a chance and it's like, oh wait, all that background noise. Oh no, you should have just done it cleanly. Well, why did you have an import OBS option in the first place? And then of course here you have your save, your import session, export session, save, backup, restore, backup, reload, so on and so forth. Great, awesome. But overall, do I recommend Meld Studio? Not now. Not now. Not because of these features that are missing, but because it just needs more time in the sun, basically. If they add, or if they give users a better onboarding experience, especially for people who don't know what audio and the audio the audio game, right? And the tech, the audio and for people who don't know the audio and tech game, right? Where's the better onboarding experience? If they just have a better onboarding experience and a better like explainer as to what these features really do, like if I go to help, for example, and you could go on their Discord, they have a Discord, share feedback, whatever. I think needs to be like a little like tutorial, like you click on it, like say, here, right? I'm just gonna click on it. And it's like, oh, welcome to Meld Studio and so on and so forth, blah blah blah. Okay, if you go over to Q, they tell you what Q is, what is mono audio, and then you have a definition of what monitor audio is. As crazy as this all sounds, Baldur's Gate 3 did this, where they explain what a lot of the spells are and what they are meant to do and so on and so forth. So if they have something like that in their onboarding experience, especially for baby streamers who don't want to use OBS, who are afraid to use OBS because of all these things you've been hearing about OBS, right? Which again, you shouldn't be afraid of any broadcasting software, right? If you see your favorite streamer using a software that you want to use, then go ahead and use it. If you don't like it, then that's okay. Just go to a different go to a software that is comfortable with you, right? That's tailored to your needs, right? Um, because it's different. It's different paintbrushes, different strokes for every content creator out there. Some people use Firebot over StreamerBot. Some people use Nightbot over stream elements. Some people use this over that. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. All up to your taste, acquired taste. Again, it's a good start. I have said this many times yesterday. It's a good start, but it needs more time in the oven. Um, and if they just add a better onboarding experience for newcomers to the content creation world, and potentially more filter options than just the 3 here, then and before anyone says it's common sense not to like put your mic in this position and so on and so forth, don't give me that horse shit. Some people aren't as fortunate to have a studio setup like other people, and that is why, again, I say this, that there needs to be a better like onboarding experience. Like right here, you might be thinking, okay, well, it's in here, right? Not necessarily. It's not in here. It's not here. I'm clicking everything. I'm clicking everything. There's nothing here. There's nothing here to indicate, there's no gate, noise suppression, so on and so forth. So don't give me that horse shit that is the streamer's fault for not having for not having the studio set up. It's out of my hands. We're not as rich. If you enjoyed this first impressions look into Meld Studio, then leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you enjoyed this first impression and you want to see more, then check out the channel and check out the content that I do here Monday through Sunday. And I'll catch you all on the next episode. Bye bye.